What's going on, guys? What is going on? I thought I would do a little impromptu live. Um I think what I'm going to have to start doing, because I've been so busy, I'm going to have to start doing my lives a lot earlier in the day because I am just too busy. I'm trying to do a little bit too much. In my last couple of videos, I did one on this channel about how I cleared things off my criminal record, and then I did another video on my XJW Life channel. And I know I look tired as hell because I have been probably getting about 4 hours of sleep, but at different times of the day. So, like I'll get 4 hours here and 4 hours there. But I've been going to bed really early and then getting up really early, so I have more time throughout the day to get things done. So it's been going pretty well. But I wanted to do another video about the whole thing with me clearing off my criminal record. And I wanted to tell, I haven't done a story time in a while, and the whole story of my whole background, growing up, I'm just gonna run the whole gamut and put it all out there, with all the crazy things that I've done, and all the way from a child all the way up until me getting this stuff cleared off my record. So I'm not expecting a lot of people to be really on the stream right now because it was kind of an impromptu thing. I think going forward it will be easier for me to do my lives around this time. So we'll see. Maybe it will pick up and maybe not, but we'll figure it out. We'll just play it by ear. So I hope everybody is doing well today. I hope everybody's having an amazing day. This day has already been very trying for me, but we're just going to keep pushing. We're not going to let that bother us, all right? So let me get started at the beginning. Oh man. Hold on 1 second, guys. Sorry, I'm looking at my monitors back there. So my main thing growing up was always stealing. I had a real thing with stealing. I don't know where it came from or why I was so inclined to steal, but I was a little thief. I was a little thief. And I think one of the first things that I did that really could have gotten me in big trouble. I remember I was a very young boy. I was probably 10 or 11. And there was this store called Junior Wade's. It was up the street from my house. And it's a little corner store. But little corner stores like that always had a section where they had the naked girl magazines. And I would always go back there and steal the naked girl magazines. See all the little naked girls and everything. I'm like, oh snap. So me and I was stealing and my boy was stealing, so we would be comparing who had the baddest bras in the magazines, right? So one day I would always go like on a Saturday morning, walk to the store, steal, a girly mag. And this one morning I went and I would always stuff them down my jeans and then put my shirt over the magazines. It's so dumb. And the owner, I was at the restaurant. I bought some chips or something, and he just looked at me and said, "You didn't take some of my magazines, did you?" And I said, "No." No, I didn't take no magazines. And he said, I saw you on the camera. And he showed me the screen right there. And he was like, you realize this little boy's up there in juvenile that's spending their whole lives in jail for stealing stuff like this. And he jacked him out of my shirt. And he was like, get out of my store. Don't you ever come back in here. And I was like, all right, all right. So I went out, just not realizing how messed up it could have been had I had to tell my parents from jail that I had gotten arrested for stealing, some girly magazines. So from there, it kind of moved up, and I would go into like, there was a store called Tower Records, and I would always want to go to Tower Records and shoplift in there. And so I remember one time, me and a lot of my guys from the neighborhood, this was back when LL's album came out, Walking with a Panther. Quentin Davis, what's up, Keith? You really changed my life, brother. God bless you. Hey, right back, Quentin. I appreciate it, brother. Thanks for coming into the chat. I appreciate it, brother. Yeah, it was right when Walking with a Panther came out, and we all wanted to get the tape, but we didn't have any money. So we went to Burger King. We had just went to Burger King, and we all had our little cups from drinking Burger King, right? So we went in Tower Records. We saw the tape. Now this is the actual, when I say tape, I mean the actual cassette tape. This was back when we used to get to the cassette tapes. And so one of us, I can't remember which one of us it was about 4 or 5 of us, took the cassette tape and put it in the cup and put the top on the straw, and it still had some Coke in there, but it was wrapped in cellophane, so it wouldn't have gotten wet anyway. So stuck it in the cup, the top on, started drinking the cup, and we all walked out. We had LL's new album. We had Walking with the Panther, so we all listened to Walking with the Panther. It's a bunch of stealing dudes, right? So then I would go to that same place, and I would start stealing like Sega CD games and video games and stuff. So I stole a few games out of there. Then one day I was on my lunch break from this place I worked at, and I went to steal this Sega CD game called Tomcat Alley. And I was still in my suit from work, I had my shirt and tie on, and I was all spiffed up. And I put the Tomcat Alley game in my coat pocket and walked out the door, and somebody came behind me and was screaming, Tower Record Security, come here. And they pulled me back in and, asked me all these questions. Why are you stealing? Why are you doing? I've never had anybody come in here and steal wearing a suit before. What's wrong with you? What's going on? Did somebody tell you it was easy to steal from us? And I'm answering all these questions. So the police, got there, took me to jail. It's like the first time I had been to jail. And, they let me out on my own recognizance, whatever. I had to go back to court. So I ended up having to walk from jail back to the car at Tower Records. I think I lost that job because I didn't come back, something like that. So, after that, I kind of stopped for a while. And then, I was married at that time. So we had gotten an apartment, of course. My wife at the time was pregnant, and I was working at this little place downtown, this little construction place. I was doing office work, like accounting, things like that. So somehow I had messed up the money. I was a horrible dude back then. I was not who I am today. I was a horrible dude. Or a horrible example of what a man is supposed to be. So I had messed up the money somehow. And at this place, I handled writing checks and stuff for all the employees. So somehow I came up with the idea that I'll just go ahead and take some of this money, write myself a check, and then I'll be able to put it back before anybody even notices it. It's gone. Dumbest idea ever, but this is what I was thinking at the time, right? So I write myself a check. I don't even remember how much it was. It was enough. It was enough where I got in trouble, like a felony for it. And I want to say it was maybe like $500 or somewhere in there. So I write myself this check, take it to the bank and cash it. And I legit paid the rent with it. You know, I remember the landlord saying, "Wow, you're actually paying the rent on time." And I just gave her the check. Well, the guy that owned this company where I worked was a huge, like, mountain of a dude. This dude was, I know he was a good 6'8", 6'9". He was huge, 400-500 pounds. He was like a mountain. And the company, they would work on bulldozers and forklifts. So all these dudes was huge, man. I was even smaller then than I am now. Now I'm a good, 190, almost 200 pounds. Back then I was probably like 140, 150. I'm a little scrawny little dude. So I went home and heard a knock at the door. And I looked through the peephole, and there was just a big fist in the peephole. And the dude, it was a white dude, it was a big white fist in the peephole. And I already knew right then. I knew. So my wife was in the bedroom, and she said, "Who is that?" And I said, "I'll be back." And she said, "Who is it?" I said, Don't worry about it. I'll be back." However, I was not going to be coming right back. So I went outside, and he said, "I know, we know what you did. We have friends in law enforcement. You can either come with me right now, or I'm going to have the police come and pick you up." So I went ahead and went downtown and got arrested. I was charged with a felony for forgery and a felony for theft, if I remember correctly. That's how it was. So that was the first time I spent a significant amount of time in jail. Got out, was sentenced to probation, time served. I was on probation for a while. So that was one of the things I had to get expunged. Then came all the issues with my driver's license and my tags. Now, the next thing I got after that was for altering my tags. Now, the first car that I bought, I actually bought it, later in life, after I was already, I think I was, in my 20s when I bought my first car. It was an 87 Acura Legend Coupe. I love this car. It was a great car. I wish I still had it, actually, because it's a very rare. It's a 2-door, 6-speed Acura Coupe, 87. Spent $800 for it. Absolutely nothing wrong with the car. It was pristine. Well, until after a while, I had driven it, and it had an oil leak, and the oil leak was in where the spark plug, so it would smoke a lot. I didn't know as much about cars then as I do now. It was a pretty simple fix. It just needed some gaskets. So they wouldn't test the car for MARTA. So my tags were expired. Now I still had things to do and places to go, so I still needed my tags. So my bright idea was that I was going to take the sticker that goes on the actual license plate, and I made a copy of it that was the exact same size as the one that goes on the license plate. And then I thought, okay, I'll put a piece of tape on it, clear tape, so that if a light shines, it'll reflect the light from the tape, and it'll still look like it's the real thing. It did not. So my ass went to McDonald's, was driving to a McDonald's, and I saw a policeman behind me. I pulled into the McDonald's, and I thought that he would just keep going, and he went somewhere and waited. And when I came out of the McDonald's parking lot, he got right behind me and turned the lights on. He said, "Yeah, I looked at your tags. It didn't look right. The little number on your license plate doesn't look right. It's not lighting up. It's not reflecting. Let me run it." So he ran it. He was like, "Yeah, your license is suspended, and this is, a felony." But fortunately, they just brought this down from a felony to a misdemeanor. So I had another misdemeanor then for altering my tags. Luckily, I missed having another felony, right? So I had to go to court for that as well. And I think I also didn't have insurance on my car at that time. So I got almost a felony, but a misdemeanor for altering my tags. And then I got another one for driving without insurance. And then I got another citation for driving on a suspended license. So that was 3 just from that one incident, right? And I also didn't know that if you are caught driving without insurance, they can bring that up later. So that was after I went and I paid all those tickets, paid for the insurance, the ticket for insurance. That same insurance charge came up later, and I had gone to the DMV to get it all worked out. They said, "Oh, you have your license is suspended." And I said, "Why?" They said, "Because of this ticket for failure to have insurance." I said, "But I had it." And I showed them, and she told me, she said, "Well, a lot of people don't realize, but if you get pulled over and you don't have insurance, that can go in the system and it can come back up later at some other time when they just want to. They can just bring it back up at any time." I didn't know that. So I had to go through that again. So then another time, my license was suspended again. And I remember I left my apartment because my ass wanted a Coke. I left my apartment complex in the car, 87 Legend, turned left, and the policeman got right behind me, flashed the lights. I'm like, I didn't even do anything. How are you behind me this fast? I literally just left the parking lot. So I keep going to the little Dairy Queen where I was going to go get a Coke anyway. Parked my car in a parking space. He gets behind me. This is exactly what the policeman says. "I pulled you over because your license plate was dirty and I couldn't see it clearly." Now I'm standing behind. I got out and stood behind him, and I looked at the license plate, and it was absolutely perfect. Absolutely perfect. And I said, "Are you serious?" He said, "Yeah, I couldn't." I said, "Sir, it's perfectly clear. Look, you can see it. You can see it right here. It's perfectly clear." He said, "Yeah, I couldn't see it then, so I'm gonna go ahead and have to give you a ticket and run your plates and run your license." So of course he runs my license. License suspended. So he gives me a ticket, won't let me drive the car, so I had to leave it at the parking lot and walk back to my apartment. And then a few hours later, of course, I walked back and drove it back home. Started driving again, just like nothing had happened. Then another time, I was leaving my girlfriend at the time's house, left her house to go back to my apartment, went down Andrew Jackson Parkway. They were waiting in the yard, and my car went by. They pulled out, got behind me, and I'm thinking, okay, well, I didn't do anything wrong this time, so they're just probably just leaving. Lights come on. One of your brake lights is out. Let me run your license plate. Let me run your license. License suspended. This time they took me to jail. So they put me in the back seat. So I called my girlfriend at the time and asked her to come and get my car because she lived right down. I hadn't really gotten far from her house yet. So they handcuffed me. I'm in the back seat. My phone is in my pocket of my pants, right? Now they of course didn't know that I was a professional dancer. So I'm flexible as hell, right? So I'm in the back seat with my hands behind my back. Like this, right? So the next thing that they hear me on the phone with my girlfriend. They turn around and I'm like this. Yeah, so can you come get my car? Because they just pulled me over and my license is suspended. Can you come and get me? Can you come get my car? Because I'm gonna have to go to jail, but can you come get my car for me? And so the policeman was like, how the hell did you get your hands like that? And really all I did was, since my hands was like here, I just went under and pulled them through. Now, of course, I pulled my legs all the way through and everything. And so I had my hands free, barely free. I was still handcuffed. And so I'm sitting back there like this now. And he said, as long as you don't do anything crazy, I'll just leave you like that. You going to get us in trouble? I said, no. So that was that one. And I mean, there were so many other driving on suspended license and driving on revoked license charges after that. It really got to a point where it was so much. So I finally got tired of not being able to drive my car without the threat of going to jail. And then on top of that, it was also, I had to worry about child support, because if the child support, okay, this may be something that people don't know too, but if you are on child support, this is what they told me at the office. Somehow the system is set up, the child support system, the actual computer system is set up to where it has to send you a letter every so often. Now, since in my child support case, there was the current support, and then there was also back support all the way back to the time that we first separated. The system sees back support, even though it was ordered from today and you've been paying it, it still sees it as if you hadn't paid child support for all these years. So the system thinks that you're in arrears for all this time. Now, when I had my child support case, it went back I think 3 or 4 years. Different conversation. So the system would send me letters every month or so, every couple of months, telling me that I was in arrears, but I actually wasn't. So I would have to go down to the child support office every couple of months and just let them see my face and say, yeah, we know, Keith, you've already paid it. We know. Well, if I was unable to do that, the child support system would automatically suspend my driver's license. So a couple of these times, my driver's license was suspended because of the child support that I was actually paying, that the system said I wasn't paying from a long time ago, when that's not how it actually was. I'm so glad I'm not on child support anymore. I'm so glad I'm done with that. So the first thing I had to do to clean up all of that was I had to go and pay everything that was on my driving record. That was a long time ago. That ended up being around $1,200 that I paid. Paid all of that stuff off. And there was also a wreck. I remember I was in my parking lot at my apartment complex, pulled out of my parking space, and a water truck hit my car. Like that. Bam. So it was like I backed into the truck. This dude starts acting like he's injured. Talking about his neck is hurting. And I was going literally probably 2 miles an hour because I was backing up. And so he calls the police. The police come, see me, let me check your license. All your license is suspended. So I got another. I just got so many driving on suspended license charges. Guys, it was crazy. So I had to come up with a notarized letter talking about that incident, saying that wasn't on my record, that wasn't me. Sometimes you got to do what you got to do. So, had that notarized, presented that to the people at the DMV, showed them that I had gone and paid all of those cases, and And then that was that. So I finally was driving on a good license again. So then here recently, I have started another business, as I've said before, excuse me. And I didn't want to have this new business. Let's see, Kawhi, what's going on, Kawhi? Kawhi says, in most cities, you have no choice. You have to still drive, especially in Houston. We don't really have decent public transport. Yeah, I didn't really. The thing with me was, I was teaching at a bunch of different studios, so there was absolutely no way that the bus would work for me. Nashville's buses are pretty good, but I taught at so many different places, and I had to be there. Like, I would leave one place at one time, I had to be at the next place in about an hour. There was just no way that I could use a bus. And I rode the bus to go everywhere else, but when it was like that, I just couldn't do it. I couldn't ride the bus. So now, since I've started this new business, I didn't want to have this record following me. And so many people have expressed interest in my company. I have people investing or are interested in investing. I have a lot of monies tied up into this business. And the last thing I wanted was to have this horrible record following me around. So I did a little bit of research, and I think I'm going to rehash some of the things I said in the last video, but maybe with a little bit more understanding of what I've been through. People will see what I was trying to accomplish with that video too. But I did some research as to what I would need to do and what type of offenses could actually be expunged from a record. And I saw where they were saying that there was a new thing that they had opened up to where you could pay $450 and have a felony expunged up to one time. And then there were other allowances for misdemeanors. During that time in my life when I was doing all that crazy stuff, I honestly don't remember a lot of the things that were happening then. It was like my mind just blanked some of the things out because I was wilding out so much. So I didn't really remember everything. But I knew, I said, okay, if I can just pay $450, all right, that'll work. And I just need to figure out how much I need to pay for all these other things. Well, when I went down to the clerk's office and talked to them, I told him, I said, hey, I want to talk about getting my record expunged. So he asked for my information. He pulled it up and he said, oh, it's a lot of stuff here. You can't get this expunged. You can maybe get one or two things expunged, but you can't get anything else expunged. He said, this felony, it won't ever come off. And I said, so you're saying that I'm going to have this felony on my record for the rest of my life? He said, yeah, it's not coming off. You can get one of these misdemeanors taken off, but this felony is never going to come off. You're going to always have a felony. I said, okay. So I really wasn't willing to give up because he seemed like, one, he didn't really know what he was talking about. And two, he also seemed like he knew exactly what he was talking about and just didn't want me to be able to get this stuff done. So I didn't really trust what he had said. So the young lady that you guys have seen on my videos before, hold on one second. Mr. Old School Rider says, facts on Texas, suspending your license before that letter hit your mailbox. Thank you, Mr. Old School Rider. I appreciate it. But I called Coletra. Now, she has a video with me on my channel as well, where we're talking about the child support system, right? So I said, hey, do you have some time? Can I come to your office and talk to you? He said, yeah, you can come tomorrow about 11:30. So I'm there, bam. So I printed out all my record, all the court costs, everything. Handed to her in the folder. She's like, I can pull it up. So she pulls it up instantly. And I said, I want to get all that off my record. Is it possible? She said, yeah, I can do it. I just make some phone calls. It'll be done. I said, are you for real? She said, yeah. She said, I'll charge you this much for it. I said, okay. Can I cash app you? And she just looked at me. And I was like, can I cash app you? She said, yeah. Done. So she gets to work. First thing you need to do, pay all these court costs. Printed it out, gave it to me. It was like almost $2,000. I said, I'll be right back. I left, went to my house, got online, looked them all up, paid them, bam. Texted her, court costs paid. She was like, okay. Okay. She said, now you got to go down to the clerk's office, show them that you have paid all of those court costs, and they'll give you a form to fill out. So I went down there and told them that it was all done. She said that person at the clerk's office said you have to pay the expungement fee. So that's why she sent me down there. So they told me how much the expungement fees were for each one of the things. That ended up being another, I don't know, it was around another $1,000 or so. They directed me to the other little window, paid that over there. And so then there was one more thing that ended up popping up, and I didn't know what they were talking about. And they asked me to come back, and he said, well, we can add this one to it because it looks like it's in accordance with another one that you did, and we can add that to it and it'll save you some money. And then the woman that was sitting next to him said, well, I don't know. I think we have to order that from the back and have it come up so we can see it. Then he said, yeah, I don't know if we can do it or not. And she said, yeah, it doesn't seem like. I said, you know what? My attorney didn't say anything about any of that. And I'm just going to I don't want to do something that's going to go against anything that she has done. I said, so what I will do is I'm just going to do what I came to do today. I will talk to my attorney, and if there's something else that needs to be done, we'll get back with you. And he seemed like he really didn't like that. Like I said in the video, he seemed like he was real salty that I was talking to him like that. But at the same time, I was really tired of them treating me like I was just some criminal that didn't deserve the opportunity to show that I've changed. So at that point, I went back to my attorney. I told her what happened. She did some research. She had the person at the clerk's office call her. She did some more digging. Then she called them, and she called me one day later and said, okay, she just called me. I just talked to her on the phone. She said, if you can come down there now, they'll give you whatever you have to pay. They see that you've paid everything. They'll give you the form to fill out. They'll send it to you, and then it'll be that. She said, but try to be there before 2 o'clock. I said, I will be there in 1 hour. Got up, went down there. She said, are you the guy whose attorney just called? I said, yes, I am. She said, all right, here's a form. Fill it out, sign, boom. I said, so that's everything. I'm done. She said, that is it. You are done. You have a clean, your record will be clean. It's going to take, about 60 to 90 days before everything comes off, but you don't have anything else to do. You're done. So I was like, yes. All right. So I think that was everything. There's probably some things here and there that I left out, but it's all right. The main point is, I don't know how many people are in that same position where they think, okay, I've done all these things and now I can't vote. I can't, buy a gun legally. There's so many things that I want to be able to do, that I can't do because of my record. And again, I would say, as difficult as it seemed, it was years before I even attempted to do this, because I thought, one, that I couldn't, and two, I thought that it was just going to be this crazy process, and I knew it was going to cost some money, and I didn't have it at the time. And now that I'm in a position to actually be able to pay for things, because like they say, like Nino Brown said in New Jack City, money talks, BS runs the marathon. So as soon as it got to a point where I could pay for things, I've known Attorney Mance for a long time, and she's always talked about things that she would be willing to do. But when I went to her office and she quoted me a price, and I sent her that money immediately, and then when she said, okay, this is going to cost this much, and then 10 minutes later I said, done, her face was like, okay, he's serious. People move when you have money. So if this is something that you're going to do, one of the first things that I would suggest, if you don't have money, save up some money so that you can pay for everything that you want done. Don't be somebody that has an attorney where you owe the attorney money. I know some people who have had attorneys do things for them, but they didn't pay for it. Excuse me. And the attorney is waiting for their payment. Well, after a while, the attorney loses their esteem to work for you, because if you're not paying, trust me, there's going to be somebody else that is. And if that person is paying, you're going to be on the back burner. So I want to make sure that whatever she needed, bam, there you go. We didn't have to talk about it with no payment plan. How much is it? That's how much. Here you are. So make sure you save up some money. Make sure you do a little bit of research just so that you know exactly what you have on your record too. And that didn't take very long. Again, I just went to the county arrest records website and pulled up all of my record, and it had the court costs attached to it. And just for me, anytime I go down to the courthouse, I just always throw on something that look presentable. I mean, I feel like they're gonna treat me like I'm less than anyway. But one thing I do notice is I dress pretty professionally most of the time, and I think people naturally treat you a little bit differently when you're doing something that's on the line of business and you look a little bit more businesslike. So I would just suggest that if that's something that you're going to do, just make sure when you go into court, you're looking professional, like you mean business, and it'll get done, man. It's not easy. It may not be cheap, but I promise you, if you put your mind to it and stick to it, you'll get it done, man. All right. So this was not meant to be a long video. I don't have a whole lot more to talk about, but I just want to share my whole experience and my whole background with what I did to get this thing, get those things off my record. All right. So guys, I'm trying to hurry up and get off here because I have a lot to do today. But thank you so much for supporting the channel. And of course, I'm going to have some more videos coming up here. I'm trying to get back into doing it more regularly now that I have actually gotten settled and I have my studio and I have room. I'm trying to really get to a point where I'm able to do videos more regularly. Also, if you haven't subscribed to the My XJW Life channel, all of the XJW content is on that channel now. There will be no more content regarding the Jehovah's Witnesses on this channel. That's all on the My XJW Life channel. And yeah, guys, keep your eyes open. There's going to be some new stuff coming here really soon. So thank you so much for your time and support with the channels. And I will see you all real soon. All right. Peace.